Jonas,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you.
So I was just saying that we have collected some of the questions that we have heard the most yesterday and today regarding those two new machines.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to ask you a few of them, and then hopefully we can answer them as much as we can and help people out there.
Sure.
All right.
Hit it.
Let's just get right into it. All right, first one.
Yeah.
Name 3 major differences between the R1 and the two new machines, the R2 and the Pro.
Great. That's not a problem. So, first of all, R2 and R2 Pro is basically the same machine. The main difference for those two is that the Pro has got a Pro cooling tray, which means it has a stirrer to automatically agitate the beans, and it's got more power. But beside that, it's the same machine. It's got the same body, same drum, and same technology as the R2. Okay, but compared to the R1, there is so much to talk about. Actually, we had, when we started working on this design, I had a 3-page document just with suggestions, things we wanted to change, things we wanted to make more easy in the manufacturing processes. Great ideas from our customers, great ideas from our service centers, and of course also, tools and sensors that would actually improve your roasting experience and make it easier to roast coffee. So I think I'll focus on those today, those things that actually help you roast better coffee, because the other ones are, it's something we're going to be talking about in the near future, and it's also more, more internal, so it's not as important. But the first and most important feature is the flow sensor. So Yvonne, if you come over here, let me explain the flow sensor to you. It's a pressure sensor inside the exhaust pipe where we measure the pressure, and we can translate that pressure into an airflow. So what that does is that it basically measures F1 to F10, and it doesn't matter how clogged your filter is. So traditionally on a R1, we recommended that you change or you clean your filter every 2, 3, 4 roasts, also depending on how dark you're roasting. But that's the thing of the past, because on this machine you can have a completely full chaff box and your filter can be more or less clogged up, but you will still have the same airflow in the machine because the fan is going to be adjusted based on the flow. So what that means is that you don't have to empty your chaff collector as much, you don't have to clean your filter as much, and the machine will tell you when it's time for cleaning. So that makes everything a lot easier. We've actually seen that now by measuring the flow, we can see that even with a clean filter, from the first roast of the day to the second one, there is a slight difference. And from the second to the third, there is a slight difference. So even after 2 or 3 roasts, you will actually have a different airflow. Now on the R2 or the R2 Pro, it's going to be exactly the same. That's a major plus. Another thing is obviously the induction heating. You get more power. You get one more step. You get up to P10 on your R2 and P14 on the R2 Pro. P14 means a 50% power increase compared to the R1, which is massive. That means you could do 1.2 kilo roasting, and your first crack is going to be around 6 minutes 30 seconds, which is just insane considering that it's just plugged into a standard wall outlet. The R2 standard version gets a boost of 10% in power, but it actually also helps quite a bit. So beside the power, there's also more precision. So when you are roasting, you will get higher precision on the power delivery from roast to roast. But enough about the electronics, because my brother Jacob, which is over there, my great twin hardware software developer, he will explain a lot more about this in the near future. So let's pick another thing that is great. Well, we got the roasting light here. And this light, you might think, well, it's just another light, but it's actually a light developed with a UK company. We developed some special lenses for it, which means that you have like 90% of the light right here at the window. So it doesn't make your whole room bright, but there is a very good quality, high CRI index light with a 4,500 Kelvin temperature on the beans. And that's going to be accurate from roaster to roaster, so it's going to be easy to judge visually. If I should pick another feature, I think I would go with the ease of maintenance. All right. I hope you guys have cleaned your roaster before, and if you have, what you've probably done is you've taken out these 6 screws on the machine, and then you pull off the front. The problem with the R1 is that you have a wire, and the wire is basically here on the side connecting the induction board to the control panel. So that means that the whole front is going to hang in that wire, that's how it is because you need to connect the two. But on this machine, everything is done by contact pins, also called pogo pins. So that means you can flick off this control housing and it comes right off. It's held on with magnets, or you can take out the 6 screws from the front and you can pull off the whole front without having any cable hanging there. That just makes cleaning and maintenance, I would say, 100 times easier on this machine. So, but Jacob, I think we need to get to the next question because I could be talking about this for like days. So, hit me up with the next one.
Sure. Thank you very much, Jonas. That was a long but very good answer. So that's great. And the next question is pretty simple. I don't know if the answer is simple, but the question is simple. Can you update the R1 to the R2?
Yes. You actually can. In the beginning of this development, we did not focus too much on doing that, but then at the end, we thought, let's see if it's actually possible to do that. Let's see how much more development would be required to make it compatible with an R1. And we found out that it was not too much work, so we did that. So it is possible in the future, which means probably end of 2024, to get a conversion kit to upgrade it from an R1 to an R2. It's not going to look exactly the same on the inside. On the outside, it will look exactly the same, but on the inside, it will be a little bit different. But it's not an upgrade as from V1 to V2. It's actually quite a big upgrade. So that means the legs are different. All the electronics for the power electronics for the heating is different. Everything on the front is going to be different, so you will get a whole new front, whole new controller. But it will be possible also because we have a lot of customers who have more than one bullet. If they had an R1 and they buy an R2 and they want to upgrade their old R1 to an R2, it will be possible, and the performance is going to be exactly the same. So yes.
Thank you very much. Next question. The cooling tray, the Pro cooling tray, the ever so awesome cooling tray. Is this cooling tray compatible with the R1?
So the answer to that is yes, it is. It's compatible. So if you zoom in here, you can actually see that it's hard to see, but this area is lower on the new R2 because we needed more space for the electronics. So on the Pro version, we need to add some small feet. So we add some small rubber feet here onto the plastic legs. However, on the R1, this will slide right under. So yes, you can get the R2 Pro cooling tray and use it on an older R1. That's possible. You will, however, need, and it will come with that, you would need to use a second power for the adapter for the cooling tray because it uses a lot more, or somewhat more energy than the original R1 cooling tray.
Thank you. So question number 4. The roasting capacity of the Bullet Pro is 1.2 kilos. Is the drum size the same, or has that been increased?
So the drum size I think I said it in the beginning, but it's exactly the same. It's the shell and the drum for R1, R2, and R2 Pro is exactly the same. We have, however, had for more than 2 years now guys who have had a special version of the R1 which had more power, and they've been roasting 1.2 kilo on it for a really long time and tested that, and that works fine. So when we say that the capacity for the R2 Pro is 1.2, it's you could do that on the R1. You could do that on the R2 as well, but it would just take a bit longer time. So for that, we recommend that you have the extra power of the Pro version.
Thank you. So here's a question that's a little bit different. So where are the Bullet R2 and the Bullet R2 Pro made?
I love that question. They're made in Taiwan. Little democratic island that we love to work with. All our manufacturing is done in Taiwan, and we're actually quite proud to do that because it's very local manufacturers. Many of these vendors are, just like a family business, but they provide parts to us, and everything is. Of course, sensors come from Japan, they come from Europe, they come from the US, but all the mechanical parts and the assembly is made locally in Taiwan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like these questions.
Yeah, it's not over yet. And here's one more. It's question number 6. Where can I get the Bullet R2 or the Bullet R Pro right now? I mean, where can I buy it?
Well, you can buy it on our website. So we have stock we don't have stock of the R2 yet. They're coming out in September. And first you will see them in the US. On the US market, you can get them from Aillio.com. And in the Euro, actually, we will have stock in the US and in Europe and in Taiwan. So we have 3 different web shops, and you can buy them on Aillio.com. You can access all the 3 websites on there. The version for Europe will require certification, and this is something that we're working on right now, but it might take an extra month or 2 before they come out in Europe.
Thank you. So if you're in the US, you just go there and buy it.
Yeah.
Buy it right now, and then you get your spot in the queue, as it is first come, first serve. So go for it. And the last question this time is, when will the shipments start?
I just answered that. September. September for the US version and international version that don't require the CE certification, and a few months afterwards will be available for the EU and also for Japan and Korea. Yeah. Is that it? Is that all you got?
That's all I have for now. And but stay tuned, guys. We will have more live updates. We will have videos, so we will just keep posting stuff so you can follow everything.
And keep asking those questions as well. So that's very helpful for us. Appreciate it.